understand some of your approach. I mean, sometimes we take a hard bite. It helps us as politicians.
Nowadays, when I listen to you, I even panic.
Why?
Maybe, hey,
Why do you panic?
the way you, Papa, you know Papa.
Figuratively, he bites as hard as he can.
Okay.
And of course, when he puts his fangs into you, you certainly feel it. I think it prickles.
Watch Johnny's bite.
Bismillahir Rahman Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runneth over, and surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. It's Friday. Welcome to Johnny's Bite. Juma Mubarak to all our Muslim brothers and sisters. And when you go on your knees and pray, pray for Ghana. Pray that we will prosper and we will flourish as a country. Pray for Ghana. And pray for you, yourself, and pray for me. This morning, let me say thank you to Sonar Fashions. They are in Tamale. 0246 590 162. That's the magic number to call. 0246 590 162, and you get something special sewn for you and yours. You can get some fugu as well, and all those stuff from the northern part of Ghana, but also that is very, very much in vogue. Today is the 28th of February. 28th of February. We all know what place this date has in our history. But in current memory and in recent history, today is exactly 1 year since what you call the anti-gay bill or the proper family values bill that Sam George, Dafia Makpo, Johnny Tim Fojo, all the people came together and championed. Today is the day that bill was passed, and President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo of current memory failed to sign. Today is 1 year, when the President of the Republic at the time, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, whose position on whether Ghana is gay or not was not so clear. Today marks exactly 1 year that bill was transmitted, that was passed by Parliament. And up until now, we have not been able to sign on to it. Today is 1 year. And yesterday, I think the President of the Republic missed that. Because if as a country, we have decided that this is the direction we want to go, we must put in the relevant laws to be able to guide us so that people do not go and do things out of their own free will that may bring us trouble in future. But today is exactly 1 year. Keep that in mind. And know that once upon a time, we had a president who spoke all the English, who told us everything, but when it came to the point where he had to put action and words together, he failed to put action. He only spoke words. In fact, the executive secretary of the president at the time, who wrote to us to tell us that we should not transmit the bill because there was a matter in court, as far as we know, and the last time we got information, it's not in the jurisdiction. He is out of the country seeking medical care. If we had proper medical infrastructure here, I'm not sure anybody would travel out. And that is why we need to insist that the people who lead us must go through what we go through at Kolebu, at Reja Komfo, at Tamale Teaching Hospital. They must go through it. If they go through it, perhaps, maybe, just maybe, they will fix the problems. Today also we'll celebrate 3 gallant soldiers. Private Odate, Corporal Atipo, and Sergeant Ejete. Private Odate Lamte, Corporal Atipo, and Sergeant Odate Lamte. It just struck me yesterday that there are 2 guns in there. at the forefront of the struggle for independence. There are two Ghana people in there. There's also recently, now we know W01 Hammond and many others. I'm told that there are about 20 of the veterans from the Second World War who are still living, some 102 years old, some 104 years old. And then the conversation I had with W01 Segbefia, ex-W1 Segbefia, that the colonial government at the time had to inflate their ages so that they could be able to serve. Had to inflate their ages so that they could be able to serve. So we salute them, we celebrate them, the likes of Nick Kwabena Boni and the rest, who in 1947, 1948, and in the run-up to 1957, it sped up the process, and now we have independence as a country, and we can proudly say we are a sovereign nation called Ghana. Now, I want to celebrate a young man at the Medina NIA headquarters junction, the traffic light. The traffic light, I understand, has not functioned for a very, very long time. And yesterday I told you that I'm with the regional minister. She says in 50 days, we will get 70% of Accra properly lit. So, this gentleman, put up the video, please. This gentleman, Medina NIA headquarters. Now, so this gentleman is at the traffic light, and he's helping to direct traffic. I'll bring that video to you in a bit. But it tells you a story about how, as Ghanaians, people genuinely want to help when they see a situation that is not going right. It is not in our nature as Ghanaian people to see something that is not right and to shut up. These days, because of the proliferation of new media, people now tend to use their phones. Instead of helping people, they tend to video. They want to be on social media. They want to create a page. They want likes. They want to monetize what's going on, etc. But in the past, that is not how Ghanaians are. Naturally, that's not how we are. We have fellow feeling. We know how to support each other. We know how to help each other. And that is why when you hear that there's corruption here, there's corruption there, and somebody has actually taken money that is supposed to be for a whole lot of people, and just, a few people have taken and they are chopping, it makes you think, are they really Ghanaians? Look at this boy. Let's check him out. So this is the boy. And he's been there. He's doing this for something small for the boy's sake. But this is it. The traffic light has not functioned. According to the motorist that sent this to me, the traffic light has not functioned. What does it take to get a traffic light to function? I ask. What does it take to get a traffic light to function? I ask. What does it take to get a street light to function? I ask. And I'm asking these very simple questions because it hits me differently. Keep the video on. There's something that some senior citizens have spoken to me about called the Young Pioneers. They had a code. Love for country, discipline and obedience, honesty and morality, punctuality, protection of state property, reliability and secrecy, comradeship and forbearance, love of work, field craft, unaffectedness, selflessness, striving to faultlessness. These were the code of the Young Pioneers. And yesterday when the president said, we're going to introduce, we're going to introduce some military training to, people say, hey, Nigeria is doing it. Why can't we do it? You look at all the secondary schools. Come to me. School A is chasing School B. They are throwing stones at each other. They have machetes. Some even have guns. People are wounded. Somebody was killed at O'Reilly Secondary School. At that disco, somebody strangulated another student's head and hit the head on the edge of a metal bunk bed. At Accra Academy, somebody was holding a machete and was whipping another student with it. Just everything is just bizarre. The kind of discipline and the kind of reprimand that you expect from authorities is not there. Today, the country has become so bad that a parent of another, my uncle or my auntie cannot reprimand me. It didn't used to be that way. When I was a child, somebody could stop you in the middle of the road and say, "Why are you dirty? Tucking your shoes? Why are you tucking your shirt? Why are you wearing your shoes?" Two spanks on your backside, and that's it. Today, you cannot afford to do that. Because if you try, somebody's parent will take you on. Of course, some people go the extreme. But I'm saying that, how did we lose our Ghanaianness? Because that was what made us unique. Where somebody cared about the next person and vice versa. How did we lose that? Look, I want to celebrate another teacher today. A teacher who is practicalizing. It reminds me so much of my technical skills and technical drawing teacher, Abe Kusam. It reminds me so much of that gentleman, Abe Kusam, Kanesh Anglican JSS. We constructed literally our own washroom. It was Nipa and Seshi, but he guided us to construct our own thing, and he taught us all the basic things that we needed to know. Today, where is the practical, portion or bit of our education? Where is it today? Where exactly is the practical bit of our education? Watch.
Okay, so she has just completed a 4-course war with 3 blocks in each course. For 3 blocks in each course. Now, the reason why she brought this half block at both ends of the fourth is that when you mistakenly decide to use a full block, you are going to play something called straight joint. Say straight joint. Straight joint. So in order to avoid the straight joint, you need to introduce what we call half block or half back. So the half break will be placed at both ends of the fourth course and then the second course, so that we can avoid continual straight joint. So this is join and assembling when we come to brace playing. Now the next time we meet, we are going to do practical work. This is dry bonding, no mortar. Now next week we are going to have our mortar, and then we form a correct and a very practical for you to see how best we can erect our wall.
If all teachers were this dedicated, and they will not come to school to sell achomo and aigbe toffee and all those things to the children before they start teaching. If all teachers were this dedicated and they would lay down their lives and practicalize the lessons. If all teachers were this dedicated, their call and demand for better conditions of service, of course, look at the classroom where he's teaching. All is not well, but he has not given up. He's teaching because that is what he said he wants to do. Love for work. This one is field craft. He's teaching them. He's shaping their minds. And that was the whole concept of JSS. I don't know what the concept of JHS is, but that was the whole concept of JSS. Cultural studies, social studies, they will teach you how to bake, how to sew, grey baft, different kinds of stitches, and we had a timbal and all of that. Now, we don't know where all of those things have gone. So now everybody says, I am done with school. Government must find me work. I am done with school. Government must find me work. We knew tenon saw, we knew rip saw, we knew, all those things. And he's wearing, look, he doesn't care where he's teaching. He is properly dressed. in a shirt and a tie, properly tucked in with his nice black shoe, nice trousers. Look, applaud this teacher. This is the example we want to see. Not teachers who get there and say, and that is why I support what President Mahama said, that look, going forward, we will not have to build any school without a teacher's bungalow, because this teacher does not have to be stressed trying to look for accommodation. No. This teacher does not have to be stressed trying to look for accommodation. No. And there are many other teachers like this, like the teacher who drew a whole computer interface on the screen, just so students could have it, because as a country we have failed to provide the computers for the children. In that school there was not even electricity. There was no interface. There are teachers like this who break their back every day. And there will be people who will be sitting in Accra in air conditions. If this teacher for just one day misses lesson notes, somebody will write and say, come to Accra, come and explain. Look, if you know this teacher, applaud him and give him something. I wish I knew his Momo number. These are the kinds of people we are looking for to move our country forward. You don't have an idea the impression he has made. Look, I was done with JSS many years ago, more than almost 30 years ago. I still remember Abeku Sam and the kind of impact he had on me. I still remember Mrs. Atumbu for the impact that she taught me how to bake sponge cake and all of that. I still remember it, and I can still make it. You have no idea when you have an opportunity with children to impact them, and you decide that, look, the other time I showed you something from Ruby Joe Education Institute, that around the Brigade area, right? English Yaman for Brigade area. And I showed you how, because of what Madame Adole Brown had done in the school, the children found money and they didn't put it in their pockets. They returned the money to the headmistress to say, take it, madam, it is not our money. The school rewarded them, but it was a big lesson for everybody. How many of us will find what doesn't belong to us and will willingly return it? How many? Today, people forcefully steal. They find ways to bypass biometric systems to steal. I'll talk about it. Look, let's go to KNUST. There's an update. A very young, beautiful lady has lost her life. We don't know what caused it, but I'm told there are CCTV footages showing some violent exchanges, etc., whatever it is. And this is where we'll urge the police to deal with this matter quickly. This is dated the 27th of February, 2025 from the KNUST for immediate release, a press release. It says, update on the death of Miss Joanna Deladem Yabani. Further to our earlier press release on this tragic incident, we wish to inform the university community that the suspect, believed to be the mastermind behind the gruesome murder of Miss Joanna Deladem Yabani, a final year biological science student of the KNUST, right? A final year biological science student of the KNUST has been apprehended by the regional police for interrogation following a thorough review of our internal CCTV footages. The suspect, identified as a fellow student residing in the same hostel as the deceased, was found in possession of the clothing worn during the crime, which has been retrieved as evidence. We appeal to all students and members of the university community to remain calm as the police continue their diligent investigations to uncover the full details surrounding this unfortunate incident. The management of KNUST, in collaboration with the security services and the regional police command led by IGP himself, is taking all necessary measures to ensure the safety and security of students and the entire university community. To this end, security has been significantly reinforced with over 50 police officers deployed across campus, 5 mobile police patrol teams from the anti-robbery squad, 34 patrol officers from the SWAT unit in the Ashanti region. Additionally, security personnel stationed at strategic locations. We state that 80% of the university campus, including the location where this incident occurred, is under CCTV surveillance, and we're working to have 100% coverage soon. Our internal security personnel have also been strategically deployed to enhance vigilance. We extend our deepest condolences to the parents of the family, etc. Now, they say they want to advise students to walk in pairs, especially at night, avoid dark and isolated areas, refrain from carrying laptops and other valuables at night, reporting any suspicious activities. For assistance, they put a number there. You can call. This assigned by Dr. Daniel Norris Becoin. He's the Deputy Registrar, Investor Relations Office, KNUST. The young lady met her untimely death, and it is a very sad one indeed. And I digress a bit. Tomorrow, I'm told that the portions of the La Paz on the N1 highway will be blocked tomorrow, the 3rd, right? The 1st. Tomorrow will be the 1st to the 3rd of March, 10 p.m., 3 a.m. Every day. It will be blocked because they want to fix the bridge, I understand. So please note, tomorrow to the 3rd, that's the 1st to the 3rd, 10 p.m. each day to 3 a.m. the next day, it will be blocked. So there will be MTTD drivers there to guide you, by the way, but that's my civic duty to do, so I've informed you. Now let's play the Sona videos. Play the first one of your choice.
Mr. Speaker, the Agenda 111 program, which was started as a knee-jerk reaction during the COVID-19 pandemic, when the Ghanaian public had begun to appreciate the significant investments that the previous NDC administration had made in healthcare facilities, and began to lament the many hospital projects that had stalled under the previous administration, a promise was made to build 111 hospitals. Mr. Speaker, I'm sad to note that there is no dedicated funding source for such a gargantuan project. There is no dedicated funding source for this gargantuan project. Mr. Speaker, for the record, as I speak, not a single Agenda 111 hospital is operational. In any part of Ghana, I challenge you, not one is operational. Mr. Speaker, and it is worth disclosing that $400 million has already been disbursed under the Agenda 111 project. Mr. Speaker, at a rate of approximately $80 million per hospital, this $400 million spent could have completed and made operational at least 22 of those hospitals.
So that was President Mahama. And you know, yesterday, 6 and 9, we were just throwing back to 2013, the last State of the Nation address that was presented by John Mahama at the same location, then as president, and then subsequently he was also president. It caught my attention yesterday when we played that old tape that, 12 district hospitals had been constructed under him. Nobody made noise about it. 1,300 and more cheap compounds had been constructed. Nobody made noise about it. There were district hospitals as well. Nobody made noise about it. There were polyclinics. Nobody. Yesterday, when we played the tape, I said, wow. There were no slogans for it, because if we had slogans for it then, I'm not sure that then we will be comparing. But it was buried somewhere in the thing. Maybe you have a Kunzo. Find it. Let's play it.
Single Agenda 111.
Now, we'll find that tape. You look for a Kunzo. How did we spend $400 million on a project that he insists that we do not have even one functioning? And he even goes on to challenge people to say, if you have done it, give me the list. Look, watch this.
From the early days of this administration, we have worked relentlessly to give individuals and families better access to more qualitative health care. Across the country, an unprecedented number of modern health care delivery facilities have been rolled out, including the upgrading of the Tamale Hospital into an ultra-modern teaching hospital. Madam Speaker, we have also established in the short space of 4 years 1,300 new CHIPS compounds across the country. We have built 19 health centers for population areas over 500. We have built 12 new district hospitals. We have built 15 new polyclinics. And we have provided 161 new ambulances.
I didn't pay attention to this, I must be very honest, back then. So yesterday when I was doing the production at dawn, I was looking at the thing in the office and I said, how can we miss this? Because we all missed this as press. Because there was no slogan to it. Perhaps that's the trick. I remember every single project that the MPP brought because there was a slogan on it. One district, one factory, one village, one dam. Even if nothing had been done, you still remember the project because there was a slogan to it. Now, I have asked my MPP friends, those who are close to me, those who come to me and make arguments, and these are not small boys, foot soldiers. These are big boys in the MPP. I have asked them, I said, look, this is what President Mahama says. He said, you have not done anything. You have wasted our money. They say, we insist. And I say, okay, we saw the president at the time, Nanado, commissioning these hospitals. Was he commissioning empty buildings? Because I had come to stand here and tell you before that a contractor told me that they had been instructed to just install the air conditioners and paint the exterior of the buildings and make sure they look good and leave the interior. I stood here and told you, a contractor told me that. So literally, President Mahama is corroborating what I said. But I said no. In journalism, we have what we call audi alteram partem. Give the other party a chance to speak. Hear the other side too. So I said, my MPP friends, share with me the list of hospitals that have been completed, which are now functional, so that I can take my camera there and tell your story for you. They say vindication is in the womb of time. Give me the list. You are telling me that time will tell. Time will tell what? Somebody has come to say you have spent money and wasted the money. That there's no value for money, literally. And I say, I want to be the one. It is his story, it is your story, but I want to be the one to tell the story. So give me the list. Then we will compare and contrast with what he's saying. They say, oh, time will tell. Vindication is in the womb of time. Ekoyin, give me the list. Here, presidential advisor, senior presidential advisor then to Nanado, Dr. Nsiasare, is challenging the claims of President Mahama. Listen.
And as at January 6, 2025, as if you are 101 of the projects I shall say, 2 regional psychiatric hospitals and 99 district or municipal hospitals. A range about more than 36 of them are borrow, a 70% completion. And 3 of the hospitals were commissioned on the 5th of December 2024. I will say BBNim and Padney and Nemawum. The supply for the first 70%, 70%, but 30% of them, the equipment, processes, and procurement was completed somewhere in, I think, in September. The Omar can also, because equipment, it will lead time for medical equipment. Until also, home processes are also at the member. It's as at when the hospital is ready, when the equipment be the commission, at the commission, Buko Jucha photo, Nam Penny, Nam Communing. Now, hospital theater base in your. Sometimes people should give the right information. But now, no, yent now. Emma Obi me 2 futru Ghana for any or no one timinya. He said that's what he's trying to do. So catch Ghana for say was he did not call his car. I'm telling him the source of money from budgetary allocation and also from oil proceeds.
So give us the list of hospitals that have been completed. And then we will put President Mahama to shame. That's why we are here as press. He says you have not done it. You say you have done some. You have admitted that you didn't complete all, but you have completed some. Give us the list of those you have completed and where people go to assess medical care. Then we will go there and tell your story for you. How difficult is that? That's a challenge I'm throwing to you. That you give me the list. I will go there or get my team to go there. We will go and film how people are doing OPD services, how people are in the theater, eye clinic, and all of that. Then we will come and show it to the public, and then the public will be the best judge to say President Mahama either told us untruth or you told us untruth. It's that simple, is it not? It is not about vindication being in the womb of time. The time is now. So justify your inclusion. Why you spend $400,000 that is claiming, and why, whether or not we need $1.7 billion to fix the problem that you left. Those are the claims that are being made. It's not about sitting in radio station and talking. No. Give us the list. Then we will go and verify. That's all. Now, let's talk about free SHS.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, once again for emphasis and for the record, I, John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, will not cancel the free SHS program. I will not cancel the free SHS program. I am determined to make it better by improving its implementation. And also, for the record, students who have benefited from the free SHS since its inception are about 3.4 million. The figure of 5.1 million beneficiaries, as put out by the previous administration, was an exaggerated and false narrative, calculated to achieve political credit. Mr. Speaker, as promised, we have begun improving secondary school feeding, and the children are getting better quality food as I address you. Mr. Speaker, efforts to decentralize school feeding and food management include strengthening procurement and store management records capacity. Once completed, food procurement and management will be fully handed over to the secondary schools to do their own food.
That's President Mahama. So there's assurance that he will not cancel the free SHS. He will ensure that there's proper feeding in the schools. So at least we now know that review doesn't mean cancellation. We know. We also know that our children will continue going to school. We know. Now the conversation, because we're now going to, Kofi Asare and his team are doing some work, and then they will have to get all of us in a room to have a conversation, a national dialogue on our educational system, which we actually need, which I spoke about in 2021, that put all the experts together in one room. And let's talk as a nation. It's not NDC and MPP. Let's talk as a nation and have that central communication. Say, no, we have the men. Today, we know that the implementation of the thing has been shambolic. Everybody says, if you talk to key MPP people off record, they tell you, they admit that it's bad. And who is contesting the figures about 5 million and 3 million? We all know. Didn't the former education minister admit? We all know. Now watch the children in school. Watch them. We all know what the condition of food they were eating. Gari and Zotoli and all those things. Watch the children. I don't know how we got to this point where now students are now being pushed into politics. Because you remember, in the run-up to the elections, students were picked up, secondary school students, and given party t-shirts. Remember that? I complained about it. This is what we have turned our education system into. Back then, show the video. Back then, we didn't turn our education system into this. Back then, when you went to school, you went to the dining hall, you didn't care which government was in power, because you know that the standard and the quality of food that you were going to get was sacrosanct. I'm saying in this country, people have enjoyed breakfast, lunch, supper for free before, and they enjoyed snack at 4 p.m. every day, and on Wednesdays, they enjoyed 3-course dinner. Those who are above 60 and 70, they know what I'm talking about. That's where the term Akapompo comes from. They didn't think which government was in power. Even at the university level, they didn't care. How did we sink so low that secondary school students People under 20 years now have decided that they will politicize the food that they eat and compare and contrast governments in terms of what they... I mean, that should tell you how low we have sunk. And they say, look, we have not had this before. Now they are comparing and contrasting. At the height of COVID, we decided that we're going to do registration in the schools. Parents could not see their children in the schools, but we took registration centers to the schools and we're registering them. Somebody was campaigning, she was seen on tape, campaigning in the schools. It's a shame how we have sunk and everything has become NDC and MPP. There's no nationalistic conversation. And it is a shame. I feel bad about it. Give me a second. I feel bad about it. And I feel bad about it because, look, even the GES says, don't take phones into the schools. How did the phones get into the schools? Of course, if the phones had not gotten into the schools, we would have seen it. But how did the phones get into the schools? Who is watching? Must we politicize everything? We know the benefit of nutrition and its relation to education. We know. I'm not an expert in that field, but the little literature I've read tells me today the children are comparing the food they used to eat versus what they are eating now. Why should it be so? Why should there be a basis to compare anyway? Some people went to school for 3-4 years and they experienced very bad food throughout. Some got sick, some got ill, some were hospitalized. Some decided that they were not going to eat at all. Some had allergies. Nobody cared about it. In our days, when you had allergies, they separated you from the whole block and they cooked special meals for you. Today, can we afford that luxury of separating people to say this one doesn't eat salt, this one doesn't eat pepper, this one doesn't eat meat, this one is a vegetarian, this one is this? Can we afford to do that? We have had it before in this country. So why can we not have it again? We have had it before in this country. Why can we not have it again? Please call me 055-924-2717 and 055-691-0154. Let me talk to you.